The witch hunt that you should be talking about is they caught President Obama absolutely cold, Tulsi Gabbard. Barack Hussein Obama, have you heard of him? And except for the fact that he gets shielded by the press for his entire life, that's the one they, look, he's guilty. It's not a question, you know, I like to say, let's give it time. It's there, he's guilty. This was treason. This was every word you can think of.
Do you remember when they gave that speech, when he gave a speech on television, and everybody was like, this? Mm-hmm. And then they go, it kind of just went away.
It was Barack Obama, a name that once echoed hope and change, is now facing criticism that hits harder than ever. You'd think 8 years in office would cement a legacy, but some say it disappeared as quickly as it came. Today, we dive into what Joe Rogan and Donald Trump have to say about the former president. A duo no one expected, but no one can ignore. Welcome back to the channel where we break down politics like never before, raw, honest, and without filters. If you thought Obama's legacy was untouchable, think again. Trump didn't hold back. In a fiery statement, he said, Barack Hussein Obama is the ringleader. Hillary was with him, so was Sleepy Joe, Comey, Clapper, all of them. They tried to rig the election, and then they actually did it in 2020. I won that election by a lot. Every swing state. That's why I had to do it again, and I won in a landslide. Then comes Joe Rogan, pulling no punches. He looks back at Obama's presidency and wonders how someone could speak so smoothly, yet deliver so little. He had style, sure, but behind the speeches, policies seem to quietly fall apart. Rogan doesn't just mock, he questions the contradiction. How did Obama remain so loved while so many promises stayed half-finished? In a podcast moment, Rogan jokes, what? They would never do that. They'd have water ready for him. No, you bring a Push's water on stage with you. It's humor, but also a metaphor. Appearances over substance. He even questions the Nobel Peace Prize. Shouldn't it come after achieving peace, not before launching drone strikes? According to Rogan, Obama mastered public approval while delivering results that were, at best, underwhelming. Guantanamo Bay, still open. Real change, still waiting. And now a controversial AI-generated video shared by Trump on Truth Social adds more fuel to the fire, showing the arrest and imprisonment of Obama with a message. No one is above the law. They kept saying it over and over again. No one is above the law. From TV anchors to courtroom walls, from campaign stages to social media posts, the line echoed like a chant. No one is above the law. But if that's true, then why does it so often feel like the powerful get a pass? That's exactly the question exploding all over the internet right now, especially after a satirical, viral clip showed Barack Obama being arrested by the FBI while the song YMCA blared in the background. In the video, Trump stands beside him, grinning. Obama ends up in an orange jumpsuit, sitting quietly in a jail cell. And then, Trump walks in, not as a businessman, not as a TV icon, but as the actual sitting president of the United States. He doesn't come in for a polite conversation. He doesn't come with smiles. He comes in like a wrecking ball draped in red, white, and unapologetic energy. If Obama was known for his elegance, calm, and smooth talking, Trump is the complete opposite. He's loud, blunt, unfiltered, and now he's got questions. How could Obama run on transparency, yet leave behind a government buried in red tape and surveillance programs that even shocked the NSA? How do you preach unity, but spend 8 years slicing through the country with policies that split families, communities, and even friendships? While Obama floated above criticism like a balloon in a Thanksgiving parade, Trump isn't throwing confetti. He's throwing verbal grenades. He mocks the idea of diplomacy when, in his view, Obama handed billions to regimes that hate America and still got praised for being a genius negotiator. To me, that's like giving your lunch money to the school bully and then getting a round of applause for generosity, Trump smirks in an old Fox clip. Even Joe Rogan weighed in on his podcast saying, "You really gotta ask, did world leaders respect Obama or just see him as another idealist with a great speechwriter?" That's silence. It speaks volumes. But things really took a sharp turn when former Congresswoman and now Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, stepped into the spotlight. In a shocking announcement, she confirmed she's sending names of several Obama-era officials to the Justice Department for prosecution. Why? According to Tulsi, they allegedly fabricated intelligence about Russian interference in the 2016 election. She didn't hold back. Speaking on Fox News, she said, "Maria, the implications of this are frankly nothing short of historic. Over 100 documents we released on Friday give evidence, clear evidence, of a treasonous conspiracy directed by President Obama just weeks before he left office." Let that sink in. It's no longer about rumors or internet memes. This might just turn into one of the biggest legal storms in U.S. political history. But it wasn't just policies, it was all the showbiz. Obama could talk for hours about healthcare without ever mentioning what it would cost. He'd host discussions on race, but ignore the fact that tensions actually got worse during his time. Joe Rogan slams the branding, the perfect image, the playlists, the selfies, calling Obama more of an influencer than a leader. Hashtags don't fix the economy. Then Trump comes in, cutting through the charm with blunt force. He calls out Obama for turning the Middle East into chaos and still escaping blame. It's all about image, not action. Obama welcomed big tech with open arms, while surveillance quietly grew around us. At a rally, Trump even takes a swipe at Michelle Obama, saying, "She was nasty to me, and that was a big mistake." He doesn't hold back. He questions how people admire a leader who let intelligence agencies spy on journalists and called it a clean administration. Rogan adds to it, listing failures, like the IRS targeting conservatives and poor care for veterans. Obama handed out megaphones but no direction. Everyone had labels, everyone felt attacked, and real unity got lost in endless online outrage. Trump closes in with his main point. Leadership isn't about fancy speeches, it's about action. While Obama talked about decline with a smile, Trump says decline is a choice, and he refused to make it. Love him or not, Trump shows up with a mission and makes sure you know it. Things are finally starting to move, and fast. It's rare in politics, where most leaders talk big during campaigns and then vanish into silence once elected. But not this time. "I will shut down the Federal Department of Education," one voice promises with conviction. "We'll return power back to the states where it belongs. Education should be personal, driven by love for our children, not federal mandates." Compare that to what we've seen before. Take Obama, for example. He ran on hope and change, but by the time he was in office, that hope was quietly rewritten. The very same website that once praised whistleblowers, quietly edited, and when Snowden came forward. "I don't think Mr. Snowden was a patriot," Obama said. "My preference would have been a lawful review of these surveillance laws." But it never happened. In fact, his administration became one of the worst for whistleblowers. Promises were made, then quickly forgotten. Joe Rogan calls it out like a seasoned magician catching another in the act. Fast and Furious, Benghazi, the VA crisis. They were all hidden behind smoke and mirrors. While the press fawned over Obama's Spotify playlist, real issues got swept under the rug. Trump cuts in, brutal and direct. "History won't be written by those who loved his suits," he says. "It'll be written by those who lived through the economic mess, the foreign policy failures, and the chaos he left behind." Harsh words, but they hit deep. Because when you strip away the charm and the cameras, all that's left is the truth. And the truth doesn't sparkle, it stings. And just when you think it's done, it escalates again. "Today, I authorized military action in Libya," the clip plays, a decision that sparked controversy and questions that still hang in the air. This roast, it's only getting started. As the heat of the roast keeps rising, Joe Rogan dives deeper, pulling out Obama's infamous red line in Syria, the one he drew and then ignored when crossed. Rogan jokes it was like threatening to walk your dog, then just sitting back with ice cream instead. Billions of dollars were flown out like a secret mission, all under the name of diplomacy. But what did America actually get? Empty promises that faded faster than campaign slogans. Trump rolls his eyes at it all, saying if trust was money, Obama bankrupted the nation trying to impress enemies who laughed and kept building weapons. Then comes a moment that hits differently. A clip of Obama joking about how he'd love to control the government from behind the scenes, with someone else as the public face. Rogan laughs, saying we now know he wasn't really running things. It was all auto-pen signatures and hidden hands. Next, Rogan lights into Obama's legacy obsession. He says Obama was more focused on planning his presidential library than fixing real problems. To him, the presidency felt more like a PR tour backed by friendly media than actual leadership. Even now, Rogan jokes, the media acts like Obama cured cancer, while his team couldn't even build a working healthcare site. Trump chimes in, reminding everyone that what he inherited wasn't progress. It was chaos in disguise. Rogan wraps it up, pointing out the obsession with style over substance and how the media helped sell it to the world. Barack Obama was praised not just for being a president, but for looking like one, as if America had cast a GQ model to lead the nation. One night, Obama roasted Donald Trump on stage, joking, "I'm one thing you'll never be, the President of the United States." Another jab followed. Trump says he'll run as a Republican. Surprising, since I assumed it was a joke. In that moment, Trump didn't laugh. He absorbed it. And Rogan believes that was the spark. The moment Trump thought, all right, watch me. But for Rogan, style never made substance. He can't believe Americans applauded poetic speeches while factories shut down and jobs vanished overseas. If charm alone could run a nation, every TED Talk speaker would be in the Oval Office. Trump slams Obama's idea of leading from behind, saying it was less leadership and more passive narration. While global powers showed strength, Obama delivered apologies. While adversaries advanced, he formed coalitions that couldn't even decide who was in charge. It wasn't strategy, it was indecision dressed in diplomacy. Rogan laughs bitterly. When the world caught fire, Obama didn't bring water. He brought a speech and handed out matches. Trump continues the takedown, targeting the collapse of education under Obama's watch. Slogans don't fix schools, he says. Truth does. And as the conversation ends, it's clear. What the media tried to frame as a shining legacy, Trump and Rogan have stripped to the bones. One brutal truth, one savage joke at a time. The myth has been unmasked, the legacy re-examined, and the roast complete.